Hello, Namaskar. Welcome you to the SAAR Analysis. I am Chaman Nayak and here's my take. What if the next Middle East war doesn't begin with a missile but with a message? A single social media post, a single threat, and a single miscalculation. The Strait of Hormuz carries nearly one-fifth of the world's oil supply. Around 12% of the global trade passes through the Red Sea and nearby maritime routes. One escalation between United States and Iran wouldn't remain a regional crisis. It could immediately become a global economic event. Today, question is no longer whether Washington and Tehran disagree. Today, question is whether diplomacy is losing its ability to restrain the deterrence. This is SAAR analysis, and here's what evidence speaks about. The latest exchange between Washington and Tehran marks a dangerous shift in the political signaling. President Donald Trump publicly warned that United States had missiles locked and loaded against Iran. Now, the remarks followed reported threats from the figure linked to the Iran's leadership. At the same time, both sides continue to claim that they remain open to negotiation. This is a contradiction shaping in today's geopolitical landscape. Publicly, diplomacy survived, but strategically, this military deterrence is being amplified. Behind every statement lies an audience, and Washington is reassuring his allies, deterring adversaries, and reinforcing the credibility. While Tehran is signaling the resilience, preserving domestic legacy, and maintaining the regional influence across its network partners. This is no longer simply a war of missiles, it is a contest of political signaling, strategic credibility, and the controlled escalation. Now, the question arises, why is this important? Well, history teaches us that the major conflict rarely begins when the leader seeks war. They begin when the deterrence fails, communication collapses, and the political signaling is often misunderstood. Well, today's U.S Iran confrontation reflects exactly that logic. Neither side may actually want a full-scale war, but both must convince that other they cannot appear too weak. That creates what strategy calls an escalation trap, where each warning demands a stronger warning and creates a demonstration of strength, narrows the space for the compromise. If the cycles break down, the consequences can extend far beyond West Asia. Shipping insurance costs would surge, oil price could rise sharply, and the financial market would price the geopolitical rise overnight. For Europe, Asia, and the emerging economies, the economic consequences would arrive long before any battlefield outcome. Now, here's my take. The real story isn't whether the missiles are ready. The real story is whether diplomacy still has enough political value to prevent those missiles from ever being launched. Modern geopolitics is increasingly driven by the narratives of strength, but history reminds us that credibility without restraint often becomes an escalation. The challenge for both Washington and Tehran is no longer about proving power, it is about proving the control. We all know in geopolitics the most dangerous weapons are often not the ones that are fired, they are the ones that convince the leader that someone else will fire first. Because in the today's world, deterrence protects peace only as long as both sides believe the peace remains a better option. That's all from SAAR Analysis. I will be back with another episode. Till then, thank you for watching this.